Well, good evening, everyone. You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this is your Red Pill News. Hope everyone's having a lovely day and that you are safe and sound at home. I know many people are out of work right now. They are teleworking. Many schools have been closed. Many states are about to be shut down. But here's the thing, guys. You've got to stay comfy. There is so much disinformation being put out about this situation right now, and so many people freaking out. There are many different accounts who are freaking and saying that this is the end of the world and President Trump has given in to the global elite. I am here to tell you that that is not true. And I'm not just saying it because I believe it. I'm saying it because I got the sauce. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get into the news. First of all, today we're going to be checking in on that Tom Hanks situation. We've got some information from some people in the know. We've got what looks like a secret message being sent by Ellen DeGeneres to her elite friends. Also, we've got a cure for CV-19 that President Trump has announced is going to be widely available for everyone. The best thing is, it is a medicine that has been around for decades, used to treat malaria. Also, it looks like the Senate has passed the CV-19 stimulus package. There's going to be some good things happening for people all across America, even if you are not going to be able to work or get paid. Also, Senator Tom Cotton has introduced a bill to take us off of the dependence of cheap Chinese pharmaceuticals. That's going to be really good for the United States. Looks like a couple of congressmen have come down with CV-19, but no big deal. There's a cure now. And if you'll remember yesterday, I said the main goal of the Black Hats was to destroy the U.S. economy through this pandemic that we're in the midst of. And it looks like we've got some information on that from Lou Dobbs and one of his guests. And finally, don't forget about Tulsi Gabbard, because she is no longer in the presidential race. That's right. It is now a two-man contest, or really just a one-man contest, because Bernie just needs to do his presser, and that will be it. All right, guys, please, everyone, do sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and we'll be right back after a brief word from our sponsor. Prepper's Peak is offering an ultimate safety suit bundle that comes equipped with a mask, coveralls, gloves, and goggles for an extremely affordable price. You can grab yours today and use it to help protect your loved ones if anything does go down. You're going to get a pair of flock-lined green nitrile gloves, a bound seam coverall with elastic hood, wrists, and ankles, also a P100 adjustable particulate respirator with Ventex valve, and chemical splash safety goggles. They have a clear anti-fog lens, and they will offer you the best protection in case anything does happen. This safety suit bundle is the perfect home commodity to assist you and your family if an emergency spreads to your city. Limited supplies are available, so take advantage now and give you and your family the peace of mind you need. Please visit www.ultimatesafetysuit.com and use the promo code REDPILL10 for 10% off. Once again, that's www.ultimatesafetysuit.com. And remember, when you support my sponsors, you support this channel. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around. First of all, today we have a tweet from Ellen DeGeneres. She put this out yesterday, and she said, "Who likes magic?" Let's go ahead and take a look at the video, because I think she is trying to send a message. Now, take special interest in the cards she pulls. She's going to pull 3 cards. I want you to add those numbers up.
Deck of cards, okay? They're all different. You can see that. I can't see them. I don't know what card is what. I'm going to pick a card. I'm going to call it out, and then I'm going to just find it, okay? 4 of hearts.
6 of hearts.
6 of hearts. It's very close. I'm going to try it 2 more times. 4 of hearts.
6 of diamonds.
6 of diamonds. 1 more time. 4 of hearts.
5 of clubs.
All right. Try to figure something out.
Try to figure something out. What are you trying to figure out, Ellen? Trying to figure out how to get away, maybe? 6 plus 6 plus 5, what does that equal? 17. I think that Ellen DeGeneres is sending a message about this movement. That's right. 17 is real, and we are screwed. That's what she's saying. Now, if you'll remember the other day, this is the photo that Tom Hanks posted when he announced the situation with him and his wife, Rita Wilson. Now, one thing that many people noticed is that this is a metal door. Looks to be like a security door, and there is a barcode up at the top. Now, Hulk Smash tweets, says, "I'm a 10-year Navy veteran with experience in aviation electronics, as well as collateral duty inspector for quality assurance. I used to have to turn in calibration equipment, and as a shop supervisor, I took part part in many internal audits. That barcode is from a government, and here is a close-up of it. He says, building more than likely a military facility. These barcodes are in each room and designate what government property is located in each room, like a desk and chair. Even a lamp or a large fake plant can have one of these barcodes. I've seen thousands of them, and this is one. Now, he asked for information. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at someone who responded. He says, a Queensland registered nurse confirms the doors of the hospital that Tom Hanks was claiming in this photo was taken at do not have barcodes in the frames of their doors. So where was this photo taken? Very, very interesting stuff. Now, here is the actual tweet. She says, Queensland registered nurse here. No, they don't. All right. So this is not from a Queensland hospital. He believes this would be at a military installation, and I think that given the nature of what's been claimed, that sounds like a reasonable theory to me. Now, another part of this is that 99% of Hanks's tweets and Instagram posts came from the mobile applications on his phone. Everything since this announcement has been from a computer. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the post from Oprah in response to what was trending the other day. All right, so first of all, here is her last post before that response post, and you can see that it's sent from Twitter for iPhone. Now, if we take a look at her post right here on the 18th in response to what was trending, it's from the web app. It's sent from a computer. Now, if you look at all of her other posts, they are also sent from Twitter for iPhone. So interesting that both Tom Hanks and Oprah Winfrey are sending tweets directly from a computer now and not from their iPhone. She said, just got a phone call that my name is trending and being trolled for some awful fake thing. It's not true. Haven't been raided or arrested, just sanitizing and self-distancing with the rest of the world. Stay safe, everybody. Considering the fact that everyone's iPhones are in their hands at all times, if your name was trending on Twitter, the entire world would be talking about it and people would be letting you know. Your phone would be going off like crazy. Why does she not have access to her phone? Now, I know I said the other day that the video of the supposed raid was fake, and it was, but it doesn't leave out the fact that perhaps Oprah and Hanks could be in the exact same situation. So let's continue to watch and see where their tweets come from here on out. Well, guys, I already finished my video and I completely forgot to add this in. On the 17th, Tom Hanks posted this photo right here, showing a Corona typewriter. Now, what's really interesting is that he posted it at 5:17, which is 17:17 on the 17th. Yet again, another secret comms. I'm pretty certain they are saying, uh-oh, guess what's happening? Now, I'm sure you'll remember the story from yesterday, the hubbub about President Trump referring to the situation as the Chinese virus. Obviously, it came from China, so to refer to it as such is simply referring to the region where it originated. Now, here, someone, probably not a fan of the president, he's a photographer for Washington Post or something like that. Yeah, Washington Post. He has a close-up of the president's notes, and in the notes, it was listed as the Corona, and he changed it to Chinese, and I just want to say I absolutely love this president. Now, let's continue on this thread. So here is Chanel Rion at today's press conference asking about this controversy, and she makes an excellent point. So thank you, Methods, for grabbing this clip. Let's take a listen.
Do you consider the term Chinese food racist because it's food that originates in China or it has Chinese?
No, I don't think it's racist.
Note,
I don't think it's racist at all.
on that note, major left-wing news media, even in this room, have teamed up with Chinese Communist Party narratives, and they're claiming you are racist for making these claims about Chinese virus. Is it alarming that major media players just to oppose you are consistently siding with foreign state propaganda, Islamic radicals, and Latin gangs and cartels, and they work right here at the White House with direct access to you and your team?
Yes, Chanel, I find that pretty alarming, and I'm sure the president does as well. But I think that all of us understand that they are bought and paid by these propagandists, and that's why they're using this type of terminology against the president. They're willing to do anything that they can to try and bring him down a peg. But the truth of the matter is, they never will be able to, because we are making this country great again. President Trump is winning, and we are beating this false narrative that they are trying to push upon us. Let's go ahead and take a look at something else. So from Bribin' Joe, he says that even Joe is calling them out. He's talking about Joe Scarborough. Joe Scarborough, himself a part of the left-wing mainstream media, is also alarmed at the response from these mainstream media outlets, siding with the Chinese government and this propaganda that's being put out. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Just want to be very careful when we talk about what we talked about before about China and where this began. That's a matter of science. It will be proven in the long run. We obviously, it's offensive what's being done as far as what this virus is being called and the scapegoating. That said, Western media outlets have to be far more careful because I'm seeing.
Okay, I just want to stop right there. Look at Mika's face. She looks like she just got hit in the face with a fish. Her eyes popped open like that. And then this guy over on the right is just stone cold silent. Both of them can't believe what they're hearing. They can't believe that Joe Scarborough is saying this about what the media is doing because they're flabbergasted. They are part of the problem. I can't believe it myself. Joe Scarborough speaking up about this travesty in journalism. Let's continue.
Surge from the New York Times. I'm seeing other articles where they are literally taking the word of Chinese authorities, despite what's happened over the past 3 months, despite the lying, despite the cover-ups, despite the destruction of records. And I would not bring this up normally because China and the United States have to work together now to get through this crisis that did begin in China. But with Western media outlets so recklessly moving forward, I don't know exactly why they're doing it, but they're showing a hell of a lot more skepticism towards Western governments right now than they are towards the Chinese authorities that actually spread this through their cover-ups, through their lies. I don't understand it.
And remember, maybe Joe Scarborough isn't actually on the Chinese payroll, but I would say that both of these other guys probably are. Mika is nervous right now, thinking about Joe trying to figure out where those extra dollars are coming from in their joint bank account every month. Good on you, Joe Scarborough, but how long do you guys think it's going to be until Joe Scarborough is suspended from MSNBC for speaking the truth? All right, so moving on to the big news of the day. There has been a study, and it was the study I referred to yesterday. Well, it shows a 100% cure rate for patients who are infected with CV-19 using chloroquine. Now, this is a very old medicine that has been used for decades to fight malaria, and it is the second time in history that a virus has shown to be 100% cured. The first time was with hepatitis C, so this is very, very big news. And the cool thing about it is President Trump has announced that it will be made available immediately and that the results of the test show very encouraging results. Now, he announced this today at his daily press conference having to do with CV-19, adding that chloroquine has shown very, very encouraging results in treating this malady, and Governor Cuomo of New York has agreed to start using this in his state immediately. So what does that mean? No need for a vaccine, guys. We've already got the cure. Let's take a look at this clip from President Trump.
Nothing will stand in our way as we pursue any avenue to find what best works against this horrible virus. Now, a drug called chloroquine, and some people would add to it hydroxychloroquine. So chloroquine or hydroxychloroquine. Now, this is a common malaria drug. It's also a drug used for strong arthritis. Somebody has pretty serious arthritis. Also uses this in a somewhat different form. But it is known as a malaria drug, and it's been around for a long time, and it's very powerful. But the nice part is it's been around for a long time. So we know that if things don't go as planned, it's not going to kill anybody.
So there we go. President Trump discussing the safety and efficacy of this medicine, which has been around for decades and is already known to be safe and effective. Once again, guys, that means that everybody who's freaking out, talking about the fact that this epidemic was made to force us into a forced vaccine program, It doesn't mean that is happening at all. We don't have to get vaccinated against this, because even if you come down with it and you are symptomatic, you can simply take chloroquine and everything will be okay. So all the naysayers, all the concern, whaters can just go ahead and chill out. Now, the best part is, guys, I think it's possible we've been told about this from the very beginning. I'm sure that everyone remembers all the Corona posts, and at that time, we were thinking they referred specifically to spy satellites, but we know that our favorite Anand likes to give us double meanings. So Methods pulled up this post for us, post number 556. Remember, the cure will spread worldwide. Have faith, patriot. Now, when we talk about having faith, we don't just talk about blind loyalty and allegiance. Faith in God's plan allows you to have a level of calm, a level of acceptance, to know that no matter what happens, we are going to be taken care of. It may have taken a long time for us to get here, guys, but I truly believe this is what's happening. The cure will spread worldwide. Well, after today, it certainly will. Let's take a look at one more post. I'd like to thank White Hat for sending this one over. Now, this one right here is from an Anon on the boards. They say, wow. How do you force the release of the cures? How do you break the grip of Big Pharma? How do you explain the economy crashing without admitting that you are breaking up the corporate monopolies? How do you drive all the bad, manipulative money out of the stock market? How do you get all people, regardless of race, class, political affiliation, to work together? How do you justify taking control of the economy and banking systems away from the Fed? How do you prevent mass casualty arrests? How do you restrict travel to make sure they can't escape? How do you seize evidence and property without media and public interference? How do you accomplish all of that without mass panic? Best plan ever. And this again right here, guys, is what I've been saying all along. This is what's happening. This is truly what I believe is taking place right now. All of these things listed right here are exactly what we see happening right now. With this national emergency declaration, with the institution of the president as a war power president, all of these things can take place, and all of the things that we've been waiting for can come to pass. You guys, trust the plan, have faith in God, and know that we are being taken care of. It is happening. Best plan ever. You got it. All right, so the Senate has passed another CV-19 economic aid package, 90-8. 8 Republican senators voted against it, and I can't blame them based upon the idea that we shouldn't be increasing the national debt, but perhaps they're just not read in on the plan. Also, 2 GOP senators did not vote because they're home in quarantine. That's Cory Gardner and Rick Scott. But what this bill does is it provides an expanded package for paid sick leave and unemployment benefits. So people, again, are not going to have to starve and go without income during the process of this kind of growing pains that we're going to be experiencing. Now, they're working on a third bill, which is going to be to help workers and families, and you can bet that they're going to get this passed in a timely fashion. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of other lawmakers who have actually tested positive and that are not just staying home on forced quarantine. All right, so 2 congressmen have tested positive. First is GOP Florida Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart. He has been working from his apartment in D.C., and then we've also got a Utah congressman right here. His name is Ben McAdams. Both of them have tested positive. He says his symptoms got worse, and he actually developed a fever and a dry cough and labored breathing. So he looks like he's faring a little bit worse than Mario is. But someone sent me a very interesting email yesterday. And it was from a biologist who was talking about the actual test for CV-19, questioning whether or not it even exists, because the test itself is looking for RNA. It's not looking for antibodies that have been produced because of someone being infected, because viruses are very small. They're very, very small. It takes like $1 million microscope and able to be able to see them, and it's only like the big biolabs that even have them. So your average lab is not going to be able to see it or even really know that it's there. They're looking for the symptoms, and then if they do the test, they should be looking for the antibodies. So kind of a strange situation with them looking for the RNA in this case. So I definitely want to know what you guys have to say about that. And if anybody in my audience knows this stuff or is an expert in it, I would really appreciate some guidance. Well, last week we reported on the threat of the Chinese government to stop sending vital pharmaceuticals to us, which would essentially be an act of war. They would be sentencing a lot of people to death. Well, Senator Tom Cotton has taken some action on this, and he introduced a bill to end U.S. dependence on these Chinese-manufactured pharmaceuticals. So the bill will take about 2 years to phase in, and he says the Chinese Communist Party has threatened to cut off America's access to vital drugs in the midst of a pandemic caused by its own failures. It's time to pull America's supply chains for life-saving medicine out of that country and make the CCP pay for contributing to this global emergency. This truly is an act of war. So what this is going to do is track active pharmaceutical ingredients through an FDA registry, prohibit pharmaceutical purchases from China or products with active pharmaceutical ingredients created in China, create transparency in the supply chain by instituting a country of origin label on all imported drugs, and provide economic incentives for manufacturing of those drugs and medical equipment here in the United States. So really, really good news, and I want to thank you, Tom Cotton, for having the wherewithal to get this through. All right, so Lou Dobbs had an expert on China on his program, and he says that that country is attacking the U.S. dollar and already blaming us for that global depression, which is about to hit as a result of this pandemic. Now, I've also gotten a lot of reports from people saying that the Chinese Communist Party has taken the narrative that I discussed here on my program with Methods and Nate Kane about the Wuhan Games and stating that the U.S. government and the military actually brought this virus into China, which is why it spread everywhere else. Well, if that were the case, then we would have seen it in America first, not in China first. But clearly, this is part of the plan to try and destroy the American economy, and I believe that the White Hats have flipped it. So I just wanted to put that in your plate and make sure that if anybody's getting that disinformation, that you make sure to toss it in the bin. And finally, guys, Tulsi Gabbard has thrown in the towel, sold her soul, and endorsed Sleepy Joe Biden. She has officially suspended her 2020 presidential campaign, and based on the fact that the mainstream media refuses to cover her and the debates don't even want to let her in to debate with the other candidates, you would think that Tulsi Gabbard left this race a long time ago. Well, the answer is no, she's only just doing it today. She says she's going to focus on working for the health and well-being of the people of Hawaii and our country in Congress. So she is now going to endorse Joe Biden, suspending her campaign and offering my full support to Vice President Joe Biden, because it's clear that the DNC wants Joe Biden to be the nominee against President Trump. Why? I don't know. Again, I think it's because he's the only hope they have, despite all of the weaknesses and the clear indications that he's got early onset dementia. Now, as I've said before, I'm not attacking Joe because he is suffering from dementia. I'm attacking the DNC for putting a candidate in place who could place our country in such a dangerous and precarious position. Now, the only thing that I can think that would make sense is that they're going to pair Joe up with a vice presidential candidate who would end up taking over, kind of a Dick Cheney scenario, if you will. But the good news is, it's not going to work. MAGA. Well, guys, as I've always said, have no fear. The Patriots are here. The cure will spread worldwide, inevitably, after this announcement at the president's press conference today. Everything's going to be okay. We're not going to be forced to do anything that we don't want to. All we have to do is sit in place, stay comfy, and let the Patriots do the job that is necessary. We are cleaning up this country. We are draining the swamp. Everything is going to be fine, you guys. Mark my words. All right, guys, that's all that I have for you today. I want to thank everyone for joining me. As always, this has been Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this was your Red Pill News. Good luck, everyone, and God bless. Hey guys, it's Red Pill. Just one more thing. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has taken the time to support this channel. If you'd like to see some ways that you can support the channel, you can always check the show notes in the pinned comment of this video below. Whether you like, whether you share, whether you make sure that your notifications are on, any way that you support this channel means so much to me. I could not be doing this without you, and I could not do it without your help. Without people like you, this channel would not exist, so thank you so much to everyone for all of their many means of support. Don't forget to check out the merchandise store that is also in the pinned comment, and I will see you guys next time.